Has it ever happened to you where you did everything right and still ended up losing her? You didn't yell, you didn't lie, you weren't disloyal, and yet you walk away as if you were the problem. Relax. You're not alone. And maybe you didn't do anything wrong, but that doesn't mean you did the right thing. Smart men don't make obvious mistakes. They make the ones that hurt more, the invisible ones, the ones you only notice when it's too late. In this video, we're going to talk about that, about the things that smart, wise, thoughtful, stoic men should never do with a woman if they want to keep their peace, their dignity, and their essence. Because in Stoicism, one lesson is repeated over and over. It's not what the other person does. It's what you allow to affect your soul. And what I'm about to tell you, it's going to hurt, but it's going to set you free. Because every point is based on principles of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, but applied to the most unpredictable field of all, human relationships, especially with women. So if you're over 25, you've lived enough to know that love isn't what we were told. And it's time to learn how to love wisely. And before I get into the first thing a stoic man should never do with a woman, I'll leave you with a question. What if the mistake wasn't what you did, but what you tolerated? Let's get into the first one. 1. Never put your emotional peace in someone else's approval. Marcus Aurelius put it clearly. Tranquility comes from within. And yet, how many nights have you lost sleep because she didn't text back, or because she seemed distant, or because something just didn't feel right? I get it. We've all been there. But let me tell you something that happened to me. It changed me forever. It was 2018. I was seeing someone who seemed perfect for me. Great conversations, similar values, even matching habits. But every time she didn't reply for a few hours, my mind spiraled into chaos. Is she with someone else? Is she mad at me? Did I bore her? I'd start dissecting our last conversations for clues, like an emotional detective. Then one day, while reading Epictetus, I came across a line that hit me hard. Don't seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will flow smoothly. And that's when I understood. It wasn't her. It was my need for control. My anxiety disguised as care. My ego disguised as love. So that day I did something radical. I turned off my phone. I went for a walk. And I told myself, if my peace depends on a text, then I don't have peace. I have dependency. From that day on, I stopped begging for signals. Because a smart man doesn't put his emotional stability in someone else's hands. He cultivates it within. As Seneca said, no wind is favorable to the sailor who doesn't know his destination. And believe me, the moment I stopped needing approval, I started earning respect. Do you see yourself in this? Let's move to the next point. But first, if you're grasping the power of this mindset, what's come will shake you even more. 2. Never trade your purpose for a relationship. It sounds romantic, right? Giving up everything for love, making her your world, rearranging your life around her. But that's not love. That's idolatry. And as Seneca warned, he who depends on another for his livelihood has ceased to be free. Let me tell you about Martin, a brilliant guy, engineer, entrepreneur, with a clear vision for his life. Then he fell in love. He dropped his routines, postponed his projects, moved for her. At first, it was beautiful. But over time, something shifted. He wasn't that centered, grounded man anymore. Now he was waiting for approval, adjusting his schedule to her moods, letting someone else's emotions dictate his life. The result? She left him. The reason? You're not the same anymore. And he wasn't, because he dimmed his fire to keep the relationship alive. But without fire, there's no warmth, no direction, no essence. The saddest part? This didn't happen because he lacked intelligence. It happened because he ignored the most basic Stoic rule. Focus on what you can control, and your purpose you can control. Never stop being yourself just to fit into someone else's life. Because if you abandon your path, one day you'll look back and won't even recognize where you got lost. And the relationship you tried to save, it'll be gone too. 3. Don't overanalyze signals. The wise man acts. He doesn't guess. I think she likes me, but she's not ready. She didn't text back because she's busy, not because she lost interest. Maybe if I change this or that, she'll value me. If you've ever said any of these, listen closely. You're at war with reality. And Stoicism has one law about reality. Accept it. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them." And guessing what someone feels, thinks, or might do, that's digging your own trap. The wise man observes. He listens, but he doesn't invent stories. He doesn't fantasize about what could be. He grounds himself in what is. And if there's no clarity, no concrete actions, if the energy is confusing, he walks away. Because a clear mind doesn't negotiate with shadows. For don't engage in pointless arguments. The wise man chooses his battles. And often, the greatest act of power is silence. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Choose not to be at war with yourself, and by extension, not with others either." How many times have you felt stuck in an argument that went nowhere? Hours of talking and nothing changed. Just hurt feelings, words you shouldn't have said, exhaustion. A smart man doesn't need to be right. He needs to be at peace. If something needs addressing, he does it firmly but without drama, because a centered man doesn't need to raise his voice. His calm alone commands respect. So next time you're about to dive into a dead-end debate, ask yourself, am I choosing peace or ego? And remember, whoever controls his reaction controls the relationship. Can you feel the power of seeing your life through Stoic eyes yet? What's coming next hurts the most, but it's also the most liberating. 5. Never chase someone who shows you they don't want to stay. Epictetus was a slave. Literally, he lived at the mercy of another human. Yet he said something life-changing. If someone leaves you, let them go. Your destiny doesn't depend on those who reject you. Do you know how strong a man's soul has to be to walk away without begging? But do you also know how weak he becomes when he insists on staying where there's no space left? Let me get personal. Once, I was in a relationship where I felt like the only one pushing. She was sweet, fun, sure, but never fully there. Canceled plans, late replies. Sometimes she'd just vanish. And instead of stepping back, I pushed harder. Maybe she's busy. Maybe she needs space. Until one day, I looked in the mirror and I saw tiredness, not sadness, not defeat, just tired. Tired of begging for time, of explaining my worth, of running after someone who wasn't even walking toward me. That night, I sent one last message. No bitterness, no blame, just thank you for showing me I need to return to myself. And I did. Know what happened next? Silence. Then peace. Because sometimes the greatest act of self-love isn't staying. It's closing the door with dignity. 6. Don't try to change her. Not for your sake, not for hers. I get it, you want to help. Maybe you see her potential. You think, if only she did this or stopped that, everything would be perfect. But that's not love. That's control disguised as good intentions. Marcus Aurelius put it bluntly, love things as they are, not as you wish them to be. And if you can't love someone as they are, then you're not loving. You're trying to manufacture a version that fits you. That's unfair to her. But above all, it's unfair to you. Because while you're busy fixing, molding, changing, your life slips away waiting for a person who only exists in your mind. Know what a wise man does when something doesn't align with his path. He doesn't criticize, doesn't try to fix it. He simply steps aside. Because his energy goes to building, not forcing. Here's the hard truth. If you have to change her to make it work, then it doesn't work. 7. Never lower your standards out of fear of being alone. I know what you're thinking. But if I don't compromise, I'll end up alone. No, you'll end up clear. You'll end up with yourself. And that's exactly what the Stoic seeks, self-sufficiency. Seneca said it best. You are alone but not abandoned. The wise man is self-sufficient. How often have you accepted less than you wanted? Half-hearted relationships, lukewarm commitments, broken boundaries, just to avoid sleeping alone, just to avoid starting over, just to avoid facing the emptiness. But that emptiness, it's not your enemy. It's the space where your real life can grow. And your real connections, the ones formed without begging, without bargaining your essence. Because a smart man doesn't lower his standards. He reinforces them. And whoever's ready for that. They'll come, they'll stay, and they'll value you. We've covered 7 points. Each one a mirror, a reminder, a soft blow to ego. But the last 2, they're the most powerful. The next one might change how you see relationships forever. 8, never explain your worth. Demonstrate it. And if they don't see it, keep walking. This is one of the smartest men's most common mistakes. Because they know their worth, they feel compelled to explain it, justify it, defend it. You don't get me, but I swear I'm loyal. You don't see it yet, but I have big plans. I'm worth it. Just give me time to prove it. But brother, if you have to say it more than once, it's already worthless. Real value isn't announced. It's felt. Marcus Aurelius never wrote letters begging for recognition. He didn't need applause to act with virtue. And neither should you. Let me tell you about a guy I met at an event. We'll call him Julian. Charismatic, successful, with remarkable self-awareness. But every time he talked about his ex, it was with pain. Not because she betrayed him, but because she'd never seen him. His constant refrain, I tried so hard to make her understand who I was. The problem? He already was that man. But his need to explain it made him seem insecure, like he doubted himself. His story, his essence, and the woman who can't see you, even if you shine a spotlight in her face, she'll still close her eyes. So if someone misses your value, don't explain it. Thank them. They just showed you they can't recognize gold even when it's right in front of them. You're not here to shine on demand. You're here to shine by nature. 9. Never forget, you deserve love that's calm, reciprocal, and conscious. This last point isn't a warning. It's a reminder, because sometimes Stoic men make a quiet mistake. After training their minds, mastering impulses, learn to stand alone, they start believing they don't need love, that they're above it, that they can live entirely in logic, virtue, detachment. That's an illusion. Yes, you can be whole alone, but you can also share your path with someone who doesn't drain you, but elevates you, who doesn't exhaust you, but inspires you, who doesn't need you to dim your light, so they feel bright enough. That love exists, not as a fairy tale, but as a connection between two people who've done the inner work. Stoic love isn't cold. It's deep, not control, presence, not attachment, choice. So never forget, you deserve love without chaos, without games, without manipulation. Love that honors your peace, not destroys it. And if you don't have it today, keep tending your garden. Because when your soul blooms, the butterflies that come won't tear your petals off. Now, remember my first question? What if the mistake wasn't what you did, but what you tolerated? Now you know. You tolerated surrendering your essence, abandoning your path, handing your peace to someone else, loving without self-love. But no more. Today, you're wiser, steadier, more yourself. And if you made it this far, let me leave you with Epictetus' words. The soul that refuses to bend can never be enslaved by anything or anyone. So now that you remember who you are, I'll ask you to do 2 things. Share this with another man who needs to wake up. Join this journey, because this channel isn't just content, it's a path. And the path, it's just beginning.
Remember, practicing Stoicism is a daily journey toward inner peace and resilience. If this video has inspired you to reflect or helped you see things from a different perspective, I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments. Which idea resonated with you the most? How do you apply Stoic discipline in your life? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content. Together, we will continue exploring the wisdom of the great Stoics and discovering how to apply it to our modern lives. Thank you for being part of this community. See you in the next video. Keep cultivating strength with every step and share your journey with us.